Good afternoon, Tom Ginn and G Force. G is for gratitude. We'll be right back. We are back. Tom Ginn here, G Force. G is for gratitude. Today, I'm really excited to bring in a guest today, Cynthia Manion, the author of Black Pearl. I'm really excited to hear her story and her inspiration to write this book. I started G Force nearly 3 years ago with the intention to help people understand the power of gratitude. I highly encourage everybody out there that wants to improve their gratitude quotient, get this book, Gratitude Works by Robert A. Emmons. It's a phenomenal book. Unfortunately, we take gratitude very casually, most people, but when we really understand the power of it, I call it the gateway to peace, joy, and love. It's a spiritual principle. It also has some principles that keeps your mind in a positive state no matter what the circumstances are in your life. I highly encourage everybody to get this book. It's probably one of the best books I've ever read and studied in and around gratitude. So I encourage everybody to get it. So this is the principles that I like talking about on this program. And today I'm really excited to bring in somebody I met this last year as part of the Grow Light Academy, and call her part of our tribe, part of our family with Ken Walls. I was like, give credit for Ken for teaching us how to do these live streaming programs that they're very significant in personal growth, challenges you, builds a relationship. So as I encourage anybody out there that's entrepreneurial in spirit, has a strong message to get out there, don't hesitate to reach out to me. We'll link you up with the Grow Live Academy, learn how to do this type of streaming the right way. So with that all said, I'm going to bring in our guest today, Cynthia Manion. Just 1 second here. You ready?
I was born ready, Tom.
All right.
Good afternoon. I'm so happy to be here with you. You're doing so well. It's exciting.
What I like to do today is, just because of the platform, is what are you grateful for today?
Today, I'm grateful for everything, but I'm going to start with some really simple ones. Today, I'm grateful for the sunshine. It's a beautiful day here in Annapolis, Maryland. I'm grateful for my eggs sunny side up, the sunshine, and the simple pleasures of waking up and being so grateful, starting at my toes and just being grateful for my body, my legs, my knees, my torso, my arm, my face, my hair, and everyone in the world. I mean, life is perfect. Life is perfect, and you have to be grateful for that and focus on all the wonderful things that our world and the United States of America has provided for us. I'm so grateful.
Well said. Well said. You said a lot there in that short period of time. I always like to reference the world record for gratitude statements. It's in this book. 50 straight years making a gratitude statement, never replicating or duplicating a gratitude statement, and always tied with a why. Why are you grateful? We take gratitude in many cases just casually, and we say things, how is your day today? We say things, well, things are fine or good. We just automatically say things. We say the same thing with gratitude when we say thank you. And I always like to use the example. You go to a coffee shop and the barista makes your coffee, your latte, or your favorite drink, and we say thank you. But what are you really thankful for? Gratitude goes deeper than that. When we start recognizing and diving deep, what did that person that made the coffee have to do to get there, to get you served, to serve you that day? had to get up early, had to get the kids ready for school, had to drive through traffic, rain and snowstorms, wherever the case may be. What are we grateful about? The owner of the shop has put his entire life savings and his heart into a business to give us a service, then take it even further. Who grow the beans? What did they have to do? And when we go deeper, and even the simplest things like thank you for the cup of coffee, if we start learning to think deeper than that, we get a greater appreciation of the world around us, because there's a lot of sacrifices, there's a lot of things that go behind what we experience that we say thank you for. And so I believe that's a very powerful way to sort of illustrate, go deeper in your gratitude. When you do, it means more, and that you appreciate people and things at a much deeper level. So what am I grateful for today? I'm grateful for a lot of things you said, the opportunity just to be here today, experience no matter what's going on. We got wind and rain going on here today. So I'm grateful for that, to experience that. The beauty of nature, beauty of Mother Nature is so amazing to me. We can have the other attitude of, gee, it's lousy weather, I wish it was warm and sunny, but I'm still grateful for what today's giving me. Another day to serve, another day to help and inspire somebody to improve their lives. That's what I'm grateful for. So gratitude, a very powerful statement. So what I'd like to do is start out our talk today before we get into your book. I always like the story, your why and your story. Where are you from? Where you are today? What do you do? What inspired you to write your book? And I'll bring that up here in a moment.
Great. Thank you, Tom. That was so beautifully stated. And you never know how just giving a little smile on the street to somebody, or to the lady who made your coffee, or the gentleman, can warm their heart and make their whole day better.
Yes.
That was beautifully stated. I enjoyed it. I am a daughter of an Air Force officer. I am widely traveled. Because of his wonderful assignments, I got to see the east and west coast of the United States, Europe, East Africa, and my favorite spot is the Seychelles Islands. So I lived there for 3 years, and that's probably where I got the inspiration for the book, hanging out in the Indian Ocean and scuba diving, swimming, shell collecting. It was just paradise on earth.
Yeah, Seychelles. I've recently heard about that place. It's absolutely, I understand it, absolutely phenomenal. It's in the Indian Ocean?
Exactly. It's 4 degrees south of the equator in the Indian Ocean. I'm 1,000 miles off the coast of East Africa. So at the time, there wasn't an airport when we lived there, and we would fly to Mombasa, Nairobi, Kenya, and go there to do our grocery shopping once every 3 months in the amphibian and land on the water when we returned. Yes, and in fact, it's so funny because my littlest sister wasn't even there yet. So we're Air Force. So my littlest sister is now a full board colonel in the United States Air Force, stationed down in Texas. And it's just amazing, all the gifts and everything that our military gives to us. I'm so grateful for how that works in my travels. Living in the Seychelles was one of the best things that happened to me. As a matter of fact, you're not going to believe this, but the Queen came. I actually curtsied with my class to the Queen when I was in 4th, Standard 5, or Form 1. The classes are different. It is so beautiful. Our world is so beautiful. There is so much perfection. You just have to make sure that you absorb it and look at all the good stuff. As Tom says, gratitude takes you so far. I've been so, we moved every 2 or 3 years, right? And I never worried about that. Oh, this is an adventure. I'm going to get to meet new people, make new friends, get new experiences, and all of these things build to your character. I wake up in the morning going, oh, okay, what's going to happen today? It's going to be amazing.
So in all your journeys around the world and all that, and it sounds like the Seychelles was the paradise that inspired you to write your book. Is that correct?
That is correct, Tom. Some even believe it's a group of, depending on who you read, it's 82 or 92 or more islands now, but some of those islands are just they must have just arose. One of the islands is called Pryland, and it's believed to be the Garden of Eden. on that island, every fruit and vegetable grows, and there's a special one called the Coca de Mir that only grows in Pryor Island in the whole wide world. And the people are wonderful. In the same family, you have the blackest black to the whitest white, and they are sisters and brothers. And I didn't learn about racism and things until I moved here, actually.
So you wrote the book, you titled Black Pearl. What does the Black Pearl symbolize? I've got something I'd like to say after you explained what you did, why you called it Black Pearl, your book. I'm going to bring that up, show you got a beautiful cover here on your book, by the way.
Oh, thank you so much. The team put it together so beautifully. I like to do a shout out to Ruby Fink and Tracy Blair for their beautiful contribution to the cover. The layout was done by Dee Bree and Stone Bear Design, and the cover illustration was actually by Jet J. Reader. So they did a fantastic job, and it's so fun. I had another cover before, and my publisher said, it's a little dark. Let's bring it up and make it match your personality. I was like, oh, I'm listening. I'm here. I want to learn everything from all the experts because you know what you're doing. You know what you're doing. Through COVID, I started it off. Well, let me start. I started 4 books, right? The first one was about my mother. My mother died of leukemia in 1979, leaving me with my 3 brothers and sisters to raise. And it was too sad. And I'm still working on it, but I had to park it. Then I started another one, my biography, and I'm still working on it. And then I got one, it's very fun, Savannah Seas, but on that one through the cruise, what happened is my mermaid came out of me from the Indian Ocean, and I got so excited because I'm looking around and I'm seeing men and women getting heavier, losing their sense of joy, being depressed, terrible things happening. And I went, oh my gosh, they just forgot that little seed, that little spark, that little pearl in their heart. And they're not being who they can be or want to be, or, life got in the way and they got bombarded by bad things that happen in the world or to them or to their family. And they lost their way. And I thought, well, if I can make it fun and fiction and just a little book to make you realize that, you're an oyster, and a little irritation got in there, little irritation that maybe took you off in a bad direction or a different direction or not the direction that God meant for you. But layer upon layer, experience upon experience, you grow. And now you can become your own beautiful pearl. Black, white, red, green, yellow. You're all perfect. And guess what? You can find that again. And then you'll find your gratitude even more easily if you're having a problem getting to it. Because every experience brings you to a better place. It's all in your mind. You have the power. You have the power. You have to check out Tom's email because he has something beautiful on it. And I think he said that old saying, there are those who will say, I'm glad I did. And those who will later say, I wish I had. Stop wishing. This is your life. This is your one chance. It doesn't matter how old you are. I was kind of gearing into older people because I thought they needed more help right now to find that joy because it's there. But a 35-year-old gentleman wrote to me and said, what do you mean it's for older people? I read it. You brought me to tears. I love it. And I was so touched. I was like, oh, okay. So I'm here to bring that message and make sure people are reading. I have 2 platforms, but I'll tell you about later because I'm really interested to hear what Tom has to say about Black Pearl.
First thing, without getting into the book or anything, just that knowing a little bit about you and reading the foreword that's in the book, it gave me a sense is that we all have a gift and a talent. Most of us look at, when we think of pearls, we generally just think of the common pearl, the white pearl, that we're all the same, but we're not. We all are a gift to this world. And we all have a black pearl within us that we can manifest and bring a higher value to this world. So that's what I got to, that's what came to me. Just the name of the book, Black Pearl. We're all black pearls. We got to get out of the thinking that we're all white pearls. We're all the same. We're all special. We all have something of beauty to take to the world. And that's what came to me with the title of the book without reading it. So
that's beautiful. Thank you. And then to go a step further, you really have to go to your truth in everything. So the book shows a woman's journey, and you can't do it alone. You can't do it without reading. You can't do it without getting a support system. You need people. You need to bond with people. You need to be grateful for people. And you'll see, even if bad things happen to you, it's the universe that's going to take care of it. It's not you to dwell on it. You have to figure out what's best for you and be grateful every step of the way, because yes, there's adversity. Yes, horrible things happen. Yes. But worry takes away your truth. And if you remain true to yourself, to your inner pearl, and help people along the way, heck, I think we could fix the world like right away.
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to say thank you, Sandy, for jumping on here, making these wonderful comments, beautiful comments. Sandy Archer, thanks for being here.
Hi, Sandy.
Tag and share out there. We never know how what we say may impact somebody's life in a way that we will never know. So just encourage people to take this message, tag and share your friends and your audience out there. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, every day. Just one little smile. Just one little smile. Just one little acknowledgement. Opening the door for somebody, taking a moment, holding the elevator. Leave a few minutes earlier in the morning so that you can find a parking place and be nice to people and not be rushing down the road. And wow, you're on your journey. Make every day as perfect. Every little thing matters. Every little bug, every little bird, every flower, every breath. Think about your body. Let's go to your breath for a second. Take a big breath. Everyone take a big breath with me, please. Let out slowly. Feel that. Do you feel that in your heart? I try to make sure that I focus in on my breath as often as possible and think of all that God did in our bodies and our organisms. Every little cell, every fiber of our being is made to help others, glorify each other, and make us one in the world. One in the world. Every little bug, every little flower, savor it. If you have a task you don't like to do, try to make it joyful. Do each thing to the best of your ability. And it just brings this like inner joy, this little something. You go, and then you don't even have time to think about the bad stuff if you're thinking about all the good stuff. So many people have so much wisdom. And it's interesting because Tom told me about that book on gratitude, and I went and bought it. I actually bought a secondhand copy on Amazon. It's amazing. I have a little gratitude journal. I don't know if you have one yet. And the other day I was having a particularly bad day, and I just flipped through it. I was like, wow, thank you. I have a long drive to work, and I always make sure that I open the windows and say hi to the crossing guards as you go by. And now that I have a little more time, I'm actually going to bring them donuts. It's been on my list for a while, but often I leave before they're there and come home afterwards. But think of them. They're out like mailmen, winter, spring, summer, fall, taking care of our children. Think of all the people that take care of everything that you need. As Tom was saying, just a simple cup of coffee. Going back to the beans, growing them, growing yourself, growing your heart, growing all those around you. It is so simple. Step by step, day by day, Just don't go trampling through your day. Go, ah, ah. And recognize hidden talents in each other. Sometimes they're not evident. We are all the same. We are all perfect. Each
Yes.
one of us is perfect. Right, Tom?
Yes. Everything works by what I call divine law, even the physical laws. We are operating by law, a spiritual law. That's where gratitude comes in. It is a spiritual principle. And I believe it's the gateway to peace, joy, and love. Because we get hung up with the environment around us, and that could be circumstances out of our control that giving us difficulty. But there's something good to learn from each aspect that's happening during the day. And we can go there and seek it out. It opens up, brings us to peace. When we can see the good in what's happening, it brings us peace, takes the anxiety out. And then we can move to joy. We become happier about, everybody's looking to become happy. I believe there's no reference in the Bible that talks about being happy. It's all about being joyful. It's a much higher level of a spiritual law. And I believe gratitude opens that up. And then the ultimate power that we have is love that's out there. I believe it just opens up the gateway, the doors to what we're all seeking in this world. Start with gratitude.
I wish I could sing, that song, love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little of. Yeah, there's a reason those nuns threw me out of the choir in the Seychelles. Actually, they didn't even let me in. Sister Juliana suggested that I sang my heart out, loud and boisterous and joyful. And she told me that God loves my singing and he loves that I am expressing myself. And she recommends that I sing with such joy, full force in the shower.
You've got more talent than me because I sing so bad that I don't even sing in the shower. So
you should try it. It's really good for you. Or I recently was on a podcast with, what was the gentleman's name? I can give it to you later. He is a laughing guru from India. And you know what he did? He says it's important to laugh 10 or 15 minutes a day. It's really silly. If you just start laughing, you can't help yourself.
Exactly. That goes back to somebody in our Grow Live Academy that talks about that is Steve Rizzo.
Yes.
Yeah. Powerful, how it makes us feel when we can laugh, even laugh at ourselves. Don't take ourselves so seriously. It just right now, putting a smile on your face changes the neurochemistry that goes on in our life. Same with laughter, making a kind comment and watching somebody else light up. Keep in mind, we all seek these three things. Do you see me? Do you hear me? And do you really care? That's a Maslow principle. So even the simplest thing can change somebody's life. And I've got some pretty significant stories in and around just by somebody saying hello, saying thank you, taking an extra step to recognize somebody has changed somebody's life, physically saved somebody's life. So never take it for granted. We don't know what's happening on that other person's life. That smile could be the difference between them making a decision to be here or not be here in one moment. And there's a lot of stories out there like that, is that interaction with somebody that cares is so important. So like you said, to say thank you, to smile on your face, acknowledge it. Always try to leave people what Bob Proctor taught me was always try to leave people in a better place than you encountered them, and make that a conscious part of your life.
That's beautiful. And another saying that I like from Bob Proctor is, I'm so happy and grateful that dollars are coming to me from multiple sources in increasing amounts, in increasing different ways, because that also helps, because sometimes you need to help out somebody financially. I'm just saying, guess what? You can take your little kindness, your gratitude, your smile to the next step. When you're getting your coffee, tip her a little extra. Maybe she's a single mom with 3 kids. Maybe she isn't, the best reader. The literacy and illiteracy in our country is huge. And every little thing, maybe she's putting a child through school. Maybe she needs food, water, books, education, babysitting, and every little thing that you can do helps.
Yes.
And it will make you feel better too, because you can do more with more, right?
Yeah.
When you fill your cup runneth over and you have more to give and you can help. And it just makes it easier. And you have that ability within you. And you know what? I think this period of time with the Zoom calls and all the technology and AI coming out, we actually can connect to each other better. What I get from Ken Walls's Breaking Through Walls and his Turn It Up Mastermind and Glenn Morshower's acting classes and getting to some different churches online has opened me up to a whole new world. I am definitely not the person I was yesterday. I am just like growing, and it's so exciting. And I keep going, oh, look at that person, look at that, and hear that story. And sometimes they make you weep. Sometimes you go, oh my gosh, let me help. Let me send something. There's so many easy ways to send money instantly to your favorite charities. Mine happen to be illiteracy and making sure everybody can swim, or they want to make sure no one drowns. The purity of your why, like if you can go in, I know, because you could get bombarded by lots of things, but like the purity of your why will determine what direction you go into. So you have to go into that little pearl, that seed I was telling you about, and figure out, okay, why? Every single person, as Tom was saying, has a gift that you can share. It's amazing. You might have a gift of chimney sweeping, right? You can keep the chimneys clean, warm the houses so that when winter comes, Tom's not cold because of the big snowstorms. I'm not sure if you have a chimney in there, but just a metaphor that think of how important that is. What a service. Every single thing is important, and you are important, and you are perfect just the way you are. I have a little chant, actually, I do. I'd like to teach it to you. It goes, you are amazing. I am amazing. We are amazing. I discovered this at a retreat I went to in Santa Barbara. I was on a mountain with a woman that actually I just met. And guess what? Her name was Pearl. And when I first met her in Washington, D.C., we were at a dinner and she mentioned that she hated her name. And I only had like 2 minutes with her. And then she's like, I love my name. And I was like, yes. And then she reached out to me and we met up, and I hadn't even met her. And we were on this mountain in Santa Barbara. And we went, you are amazing. I am amazing. We are amazing. And guess what? That sounds fabulous on a mountaintop. It works in your bathroom mirror. It works right now with us. Join us. Tom, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. You are amazing.
You are amazing. You are amazing. I am amazing.
We are amazing.
We are amazing.
One more time together for flow. You are amazing.
You are amazing.
I am amazing.
I am amazing.
We are amazing.
We are amazing.
Try it.
Yeah.
You can't do it without smiling or getting yourself a little something to bring forward in your day. When I'm getting ready to do a presentation or something, I'll take a moment and I'll look around, and someone will be sitting there and they help with the audio or something. I go, you are amazing. Thank you so much. I am amazing. We are amazing. And I teach it to them and we have an instant bond. It's so easy, and it makes your day just sing. And even in those bad parts, when you start to go, you go, you are amazing. I am amazing. We are amazing.
Wonderful. Thank you for doing that. It just, my energy is totally different was 30 seconds ago. It works. And you got to be conscious of it. Just notice what you notice is what I tell people when I coach. When you change a shift in thinking, just notice what you feel. Because the feeling is the truth. That's the inner you. It's talking to you. Don't discount it. So it's very important that you look at yourself, find yourself, that deeper why. We get hung up. This is myself being a personal development. We get, unfortunately, this is not a disparaging thing on personal development. We get so much talk about the material things of the world instead of really helping people try that find their spiritual connection to the universe. And once we find it, our purpose, your why, becomes very significant. And once you get clear on that, there's no matter what you're trying to accomplish in this world, nothing gets in the way when you're tied to that deep spiritual why, your purpose in life. And when you find it, and thank God I've had some of the best coaching and mentors in the world, Coach Tom Ginn, through this process. I wouldn't be here today if I didn't have those people cross my path. And I can't wait to get your book and see your wisdom and your gift and your pearl that you're sharing out there. What else is in this book that you'd like to highlight so inspire somebody to get your book?
You never know where the treasure is going to be. You'll see in this book something bad happens to our heroine, Katrina. And you know what she does? She listens to those little whispers. You know those little whispers? You get those little whispers and you're making a decision or you're getting ready to do something and something comes to you, a little whisper. And if you listen, it will keep you on your right path. So she gets a little whisper and she finds a way to help someone that was wronged in her business. And these little whispers make her hear, feel, touch, and help her whole community. And someone who actually hurt her, she sees in him a great talent. And it turns out that it not only works for him, it works for her, and there's forgiveness there. And I can't wait for you to read it, Tom.
Okay. I'll be honored today. It
is so fun. It's so fun. And you need some lighthearted stuff. Pick one up for the beach. Take one to your friends. My goal is to sell 1 million of them. And it's really just to get people to read. You can read any book, but I'm particularly partial to Black Pearl this time. And we have a meeting on tomorrow, and I give out, my husband made these bookmarkers for it. And there's a real black pearl on the end of it.
Oh, wow. Beautiful.
A little mermaid on the end, or a fish or a sea, something. Everyone's different. So I'm giving out the first 25 to people who jump on and let me know, and sending them a book. It just brings me such joy. I'm going out. It's almost like my business card currently, because someone was kind to me. I go, would you like a book? I had my eye exam and she spent some extra time with me. And I said, oh, do you have a moment? Walk out to the car with me. I have a little present for you. And I gave her my book, and I gave her one for the doctor, and they just glow. And I was like, oh, this is so much fun. This is so much fun. And it's just a wonderful journey. And you never underestimate what you can do. You can take my book, which I'm doing, but there's some senior citizens homes right around here, and they're very depressing. It's a COVID thing, they were dying and they didn't have people coming in. If you go in and you read, any book, something that pulls your heartstrings, something that you're interested to, you can call up almost anyone and say, hey, I'd like to come in and read the Bible from 7:30 to 8 tomorrow morning, or make a group and just read. And they come and they listen, and think of the impact you're having on those days. Children, adults, school children, new people to our country. Literacy is the number one thing that moves people ahead. If you can't read, you're going to be lost. Yeah. And we still have like 70 million illiterate people in the United States of America. I'm not sure if it's growing or going down because of the influx of people coming and going. But with AI coming, you've got to absolutely read to navigate through the Social Security system, the Medicare system, getting a job, every single thing. You got to read. So if you can help if you bring one person, if we all brought one person, what a gift that would be to them.
And just learning to read and then keeping that practice up. I've heard this before. You may have heard it. I don't know the exact number, is that the average person out there only reads one book after they graduate from high school, only one. And when you look at people, we go, wow, that person's doing some amazing things in the world. You'll find out they're reading 4 to 5 books a month. And there's a message in that. is they're on that path of continue learning and growing and expanding, getting out of narrow thinking and expanding their view of the world. Because many times our perspective is so narrow that we really can't appreciate and be grateful for where we sit at this moment. And reading is like you said, is a very powerful thing. If I didn't get this book, I wouldn't have had this program. I get pretty much everything has a stepping. I can connect the dots backward. It got me to where I am right now. I can't connect the dots forward, but I can take a look at where I am today and connect the dots backwards. So self-development and finding yourself at that deep spiritual level is probably the most important thing you do in your life. We focus on, in my opinion, on way too many things that I call the ornaments of the tree of life. All the glittery stuff, the material things of the world, they're important. I enjoy my material things as well. But when I got past that, and why do they mean more to me than they did before? What is the real purpose of having some financial freedom? Be able to give when that's something that I couldn't do for years, paycheck to paycheck. My background isn't around finance and financial coaching, but it's really about behavior, and your relationship with money and wealth determines how you use it. And so I just encourage people to read more. And if you want to know how to read 4 to 5 books a month, most people don't know how to do it. Bob Proctor taught me this. It's very simple. You get your books, you stack them up, and you allocate. You're going to have to take some discipline. You're going to have to allocate a half hour to an hour every day of reading. And most people want to pick up a book and read it front page to back. But if you want to read 4 to 5 books, get a pen or marker, and you got 5 books there. So you take 5 books into what? 60 minutes. What does that come out? 10 or 12 minutes a book, and you read for 10 or 12 minutes. And what you do is you highlight, just like you see here, and you make notation. This is your genius factor. The moment you start writing and making notation, it sticks within you. You'll never forget. And then when you pick up the book the next time, you do that through all your books, 5 to 6, 7, 8 minutes. Put it down, pick up the next one, do the same thing, highlight it. You'll read 4 to 5 books a month. That's what I do. And Bob taught me that. That's how he. And then if you really want to dive deep, he would just work on one book, one chapter, one sentence at a time until he totally understood it, highlighting it, researching the words. Many times we just take the words for granted and encourage people to go deep into the meaning of words.
That's brilliant.
When you study. What's the root of love? What is the root word to that? Whatever it is, something that's intriguing you, study the word, and you'll get a better appreciation. But that's how you read 4 to 5 books a month.
And some you keep coming back to.
Exactly.
Like Think and Grow Rich, your Bible.
Exactly. Yeah.
And each time you're growing and changing, when you read it, it hits you in a different way. And sometimes if you don't have that time, they're on Audible. So you have your book, right? You have your book, you have your hard copy, you're highlighting it. I usually write in the notes. I usually get if I get one signed by the author, I get a pristine one that's hard copy. And then I get a paperback so I could write in the note, and I write on the side. And sometimes I put a big star around it if it spoke to me personally. Or sometimes I highlight it and highlight my star. So I go, oh, that's a really good thought. I need to come back to it. And then I keep these little books. Let's see. So I make notes of my meetings, and I highlight little things. You can see some things I thought might be helpful for this meeting. So I have them highlighted. So if it comes up, I'm ready. If there's a dead point, I go, oh, yes, regard my life as perfect right now. It's perfect that I'm talking to Tom about something that motivates me and would make, it would bring joy to your life. Because if you're reading a book, number one, you get bragging rights. Oh, I read 4 or 5 books a month, instead of someone actually said to me, oh, Cynthia, I don't read. Think about it. Okay. So if you read, You have a new conversation. If there's a lull in your conversation with someone, you go, oh, or they mentioned they're from Wisconsin. You go, well, I don't really know that much about Wisconsin. I'm going to have to read up on that and find out more about it and check out Tom more and find out what he's doing, because he is really taking this premise of podcasting and reaching out to people and letting them know what he's doing and gratitude. And you have to catch his other ones. They're very interesting. I learned a lot about vets and real estate the other day. And I'm like, wow, see the knowledge you don't even know. So if you combine your reading with your podcasting, find your mentors, the Bob Proctors of the life of the world, Napoleon Hill, Rami, Glenn Morshower, Steve Rizzo, people that are every single person that I met in the last 2 years has touched me. Sad stories, good stories. Someone recommends a book and it opens my horizon, because maybe I wouldn't have picked up that book. You don't want to just stay in your little genre of what you do. You want to poke out and learn more about the sciences, finance. I think that they should be teaching finance in grade school, actually. High school, we are illiterate in finance. But guess what? I'm starting a new budget right now. I signed up with Dave Ramsey in one of his courses, because if you look for it, there's someone there who you'll get the book, you get the workbook, you catch the meetings, and you enlarge yourself. You make yourself bigger, brighter, smarter, happier, more joyful, and then you can give more to somebody else. You're sitting in the coffee shop and you have that little discussion and they go, oh yeah, I'm from Wisconsin. You wouldn't believe who lives here, and you wouldn't believe what happens here, and you wouldn't believe this and that. And you're like, wow, I want to know more about it. It just opens up all those brain cellars. It makes your pearl get another coat going, oh, I'm big, I'm brilliant. I love my life. I am perfect. Because you are amazing. I am amazing. And
we are amazing.
Yes.
It's catching. It's just like going to a football game, getting all riled up and excited. That's what we need. That's how we need to approach our life, with that same type of joy, excitement, enthusiasm. But we've been conditioned to hold ourselves back.
And think of it. When you silence yourself, you're hiding your truth. That little piece of truth is going. Even if you're in a conversation with someone and you don't really believe their beliefs, there's something, that's their story. So just be quiet and listen. Listen to it, because you know what? That's their truth, and try to figure out, okay, so how did they get that way? What happened? It doesn't need to be your truth, but they possibly will listen to your truth and just open the door a little bit. Who's right? They could be right. You could be right. It doesn't matter. We need to listen to each other and learn those little truths. You can't hold it back. The world needs our truth.
And when we hear somebody else's story, we look at it with our own perspective. And I'm going to use an example here I use in my coaching. Is I got this cup right here. Can you see? What do you see on that cup?
I can't really see it. Sort of congratulations. I can't really read it.
Anyway, the writing. If you could read it, and I would say, no, I don't see that, because what I see on my side, I'm looking at the same cup, right? Agreed, we're looking at the same cup, but it's my perspective. I'm looking at something totally different. So we got to start looking and understanding what you see is your perception and your reality. We're still looking at the same look. I'm just looking at a different angle, and I see something totally different. If we can recognize when we're listening to somebody else, get our perspective out of the way, our belief systems and all that, and just listen, that's where you'll pick up the wisdom and the knowledge of what they're seeing and what they're saying. Because our own perception is sometimes a killer of our growth and our ability to connect with other people.
That was brilliant. That was brilliant. I like that. I was thinking of that joke. I don't know how it goes. I shouldn't even try to say it, but there were 4 blind men and they went up to an elephant. Do you know that one, Tom?
No. So
there are 4 blind men and they had the opportunity to touch an elephant. They always want to know what elephant was. They had no concept. And one of them touched the side, and elephants are a little prickly, and it was like a brick wall. And then another one got the tail. I have a Dalmatian. That's him saying, yes, elephants. I want to go play. He has a tail, and he's like, no, it's long like a spikily snake, and it's got hair all over it. And another one got the trunk, and it kind of nuzzled against him, and he goes, no, it's wet and slimy and sticky. And another one got the foot and says, no, it's huge and round. And then they were all fighting about what an elephant looked like.
In reality,
all right.
They were all correct.
Isn't that crazy?
Yep.
It is crazy. So that was a much simpler way to showing the two sides of the mug. Brilliant, Tom. Amazing.
You mentioned something about finances. That's what got me into personal development. Everything led me to where I'm at. And I can look back. I had 30 years in the financial service arena. I had my own financial agency, insurance, securities, mortgages, you name it. We did anything to help people manage their money more effectively. Has been my passion to help people improve their physical financial wealth, because we live in a culture of people living paycheck to paycheck. It's sad out there that we live in a culture of illusions, that we look like we're doing well because we drive a nice car, we live in a nice community, we wear nice clothes, whatever the case. In reality, we're only one paycheck away. Most people are only one paycheck away from living in the street. And that's a tragedy in this country. It's just like, and it's just, we're financially illiterate. So I started when I got out of that business and did some other things. I'm an entrepreneur by heart, moved around the country, did some other things, consulting, sales training, and started a couple other businesses in that period of time.
Nice. And
I made a decision I wanted to get back into financial services. You should have seen my wife's eyes roll back, because if you understand that financial services, sometimes you don't have a life because you're meeting with people at night and on weekends and time that you should be with your family and those type of things.
Mm-hmm.
So her eyes rolled up and I said, no, I'm going to get into coaching. So I became a certified Dave Ramsey coach.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. I knew Dave Ramsey 20 some years ago through another, how the world connects people. It's pretty interesting. So I went down to Tennessee, got certified in his program, came back, started coaching people through the churches and doing those type of things and working with people. I got a little frustrated. I thought maybe I wasn't a good coach because people would move forward and then it would fall back to where they were or even trip backwards. And Dave Ramsey always said this, that winning with money is 20% knowledge, 80% behavior. And that applies in life and anything else we're doing. No matter what your career is, 20% of it's knowledge. The other 80% is your behavior, belief systems, and your relationship to yourself and what you're trying to accomplish, your why. And so that's what's got me into the personal development. I started seeing this behavior thing, people moving forward positively, then falling back to bad habits, poor behaviors, making the same mistakes over and over again. That's what caused me to seek out how can I work with people's behaviors, their belief systems. So when I coach people in the financial arena, it's behavior before numbers is my tagline. Let's work on the behavior. What's your belief? What is it going to look like and feel like to have financial freedom? See, most people can't comprehend. We hear this all the time in the promotions out there. We're going to teach you how to become a millionaire. Keep in mind, 98% of the people walking in America today don't have anybody in their family as a millionaire. Less than 3.5% of the American people have a net worth of $1 million or more. So we can't relate to what that is. Just a belief system. The Rockefellers and their family lineage, they all have a different view about money and success than Johnny Lunchbucket. It's what we're exposed to in our belief systems. So that's where I worked with in the belief system in relationship with money. And it changed everything. My clients got to their stated goals and objectives in 90 days versus maybe never. So it's when you work on behaviors in anything in life, whether it be your money, your finances, your career objectives, writing a book, what's your belief system about writing a book? Everybody should be writing a book. I've got, my wife just recently wrote her book. And I know writing a book it's is not as easy as we would like to think it is, right? There's a lot of moving pieces with it, taking your idea and your concept, putting on paper, and then having that edited, getting it to a hard copy situation. There's a lot of moving pieces. But I sat down here at the first part of the year, what I'm going to do, I'm going to be writing a book, and it's going to be, the title of the book's called Gestation. That everything has a gestation period. And that many times you can't force nature. An oak tree is going to take 40 years to grow to its magnificent in 40 years. You can't change that. Yeah, you can put a little more water on it, give it a little fertilizer, maybe give it some short spurts. But in reality, you can't change the outcome of the gestation of that oak tree. Each human being has a gestation period. Some of us grow our full potential quickly. Some take it 60, 70 years. And so my book is around my gestation story, is my journey to where I am today. It didn't happen overnight. So that's going to be the premise of my book. My trials, tribulations, successes, and failures, those type of things, all created the period of my ultimate growth period. So
I love it. I can't wait to read it, Tom.
Yeah. Thank you.
Just think, there's a book in all of you right down there in that seed.
Yep.
And
Exactly.
start making notes and go to your grateful place and just write. It can be in one notebook. I have a lot of notebooks. And you just write what you're grateful for. And if I was writing a book, what would I put in it? And what book am I reading? And what insight did I get? And what person moved me today? And what was the weather? I mean, it's amazing. You can just, any little thing. And you go, so reading, writing. And everyone, think about that. If you're writing your book, you're like, a new focus. And that will help you make other decisions about what you're doing in your daily life, because it comes down to consistency. Right, Tom?
Yep. And you said something, writing. I call this the genius factor. People that write, and you can, this is, there's science and studies behind it. Those that write and journal outperform those that even have a higher intellect.
Ooh.
It's amazing. Is what this does. It changes how our brains work, our creativity. It rewires us totally different when we write. So there's a science behind this. I call this the genius factor. Learn to write what you're thinking. Put it down. It creates creativity. It gives you a different perspective. It causes you to think differently when you have to write versus typing or dictating or whatever the case may be. Writing is the genius factor. There's a lot of studies out there right now. A lot of the academia is really worried about what's happening with people in college and schools. They're not retaining the knowledge because but those that write and journal, take copious notes, are the ones that outperform those that just use technology, type, and that it doesn't rewire the brain. So I encourage people out there that we hear this and we just sometimes just poo-poo. I've heard that before. Try it. You got to try. What is putting a smile on your face? Experience it. Everybody. What's your mantra that you said?
You are amazing.
You are amazing. Try that right now. Everybody right now that's listening, we got 11 comments coming through here.
Woo! Because we are amazing. Keep them coming. What you got?
We got. Thanks, Robert, for being here. Robert Brooker.
Hi, Robert. Nice to see you.
Yeah, everybody right now that might be hearing this, stop what you're doing and say, I am amazing. You are amazing. We are amazing.
Let's do it all
3
together.
times over and over and over again.
Here we go.
People don't believe that sounds like foo-foo or whatever. If you'd mind, if I can share this, because it's relative to what we're doing right here. When I decided to become a consultant with Procter Gallagher and Bob Proctor, we had to go to training up in Toronto, and we had to have a meeting with Bob Proctor. What are we going to do with once we become certified, how are we going to take it to the market, our business plan? I'd already developed 3 to 4 different businesses. I know how to write a business plan. I can take it to a bank and get financing. I know how to write a business plan. Wow. So, matter of fact, it's sitting right up here. So it's in a 3-ring binder, tabbed out, all my vision, mission statement, and all those type of things. My marketing strategy, ran numbers, did everything that you'd want to do in a business plan, all my strategies. And so I sit down with Bob at his home, and everybody had 90 minutes with Bob, just that one-on-one time about your business and where do you want to take it. And so Bob had just vision this. He's looking, and now Bob reads a lot, so he can really, he's going through it pretty quickly. I think he's actually reading it, but he can read so quickly, he can speed read. And suddenly he's asking me questions along the way, and I'm answering those questions. And suddenly he did one of these. He dropped it on the table kind of abruptly, my 3-ring binder. He says, Tom, I can give you Bill Gates' business plan and it won't work for you. I said, what do you mean, Bob? He says, because he asked me a couple of questions. He says, you got a $1.5 million a year minimum gross income business that you've created here. But he asked me this one question: what's the most money you've ever made before? And I told him it's pretty significant in relationship to what the average person makes out there. So I'm not going to say that to boast or anything, but he says it's far from $1.5 million. Did you make that every year, or did you make it once? And it was once. And he says, what have you been making the last 5 years? He says, that's your belief system. And so what he did is that you mentioned there, he says, your relationship with money, your belief system of your worthiness is your program to make X. You've already programmed yourself. This is what I want you to do. And let me see if I've got it right here. He gave me a task to do, and he's writes your I am statement. And I read it every day. This is the last 7 days. There hasn't been a day that I don't look at this right now. And it says, I am so happy and grateful now that wealth and money flow freely into my life from multiple sources in increasing quantities on a continued basis. There is an abundant supply of people looking for exactly what I have to offer, and we are being brought together by one mind, I am. And then I put in a number. I earn a minimum of per month, beginning on a date, and have a minimum of 3 sales every month. So I'm reaffirming this. And then I'm reaffirming some things that I am powerful, I'm confident, I'm prosperous, I am purposeful, I'm focused, I am love, I am grateful, I am the I am, I'm the magnet of money and prosperity. It is done. Amen. He says, this is what I want you to do. Take that statement, stand up in front of a mirror in your bathroom, repeat that statement every day for 5 minutes, 5 minutes a day, out loud in the mirror, and watch what happens. It's just sort of like that belief system. When you first do it, that little quiet voice says, what? What are you talking about? Who do you think you are? You're not going to make that type of money, But at the end of that first 5 minutes, there was a whole different energy that had came about. At the end of 1 week, a whole different level. How I read it was totally different. At the end of 30 days, there was no doubt that Tom was going to accomplish what he put on there. And guess what? It has moved upwards, has gone backwards, still working to my ultimate goal. But it's through those readings, being emotionally tied to an outcome of your why. The 2 most powerful words I believe people can incorporate: I am. You fill in I am. Whatever you put behind I am, that's your reality. If you say it over and over again, that's what you'll get out of life. I'm successful. Like Glenn Morshower says, your nature to be successful. It's not a goal. Goals don't work by themselves. You've been in Glenn Morshower's talks. I resonate with him. He's unbelievable. So I want to be more loving. No, it's your nature to be more loving. It's contrary. If you have a goal, your goal tells you don't have it, you don't own it. So don't have goals. Have an expectation, you own it now. And reaffirm it. And guess what? Your behavior, your belief systems will start matching your actions, will start matching it. And the universe will start delivering what you need to make that happen. That's people, resources, a new way to look at things, whatever the case may be, is that those principles that we read in books, they work if you apply them. There's a science and there's a law behind everything. And that's what Bob Proctor teaches, is that we operate by law. Our thinking operates by law, just like gravity. It will always do the same thing under the same exactly the same every time. That take a feather and drop it, it will always do the same thing. A pen will always drop the same way, the same speed, no matter what we're doing. Everything operates by law. Our thinking does as well. So here I am taking your space up, but
no, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. And did you catch that? Are you doing it? I am not doing it. And I am going to go write my I am statement. I have stuff on my mirror, but I'm going to do this and post it. And guess what that little seed is? He said, 5 minutes, a week,
5 minutes out loud,
30 days for the rest of your life, right?
Yeah.
You still do it, right, Tom?
Yes. I read this every day. I would say not every day, but nearly every day. But when I get in that state of frustration or doubt, I go back to gratitude, and then I read my I am. Because a lot of things that we have is that self-talk, you're not worthy. I am powerful. And power isn't something negative. Power is energy. It's positive. I'm confident. I'm confident that my abilities, I can learn whatever I need to do. I'm confident to take it to the next level. I'm prosperous. I'm already prosperous. Isn't just what comes to the bank account. Prosperous means, who do I encounter today that enriched my life? What enriched my life? That's prosperity. I'm focused on the outcome I seek. I am love. And I believe we come from a space of love. I'm grateful, the principle we talked about here. I am the I am. If you understand that word, that's a spiritual meaning that goes deep. I am. People say, I can't become a God. No, you can't become a God. But God has created you in his image, so you have his power. And if you got to believe that, he has given you what you need from his power. I am. And whatever we put behind it, that's the reality we'll create. And I'm a magnet. Because of all these things, the universe will deliver everything I seek. It's sort of, putting out the expectation of being able to park close to the front of the building. The universe will deliver what we think about the most and what we focus on. And then again, associating yourself with people of like energies, like thinking, like purposes in life, guess what happens? Everything changes. You can attest that by the Grow Live Academy and some of the people you would never have met without this opportunity, right?
100%, absolutely. It's amazing.
It is amazing. I'm amazing. We're amazing. You're amazing. We're all amazing.
Yes, yes. And you taught us some very good pearls of wisdom today, Tom. That was amazing.
Amazing. Encourage that.
So
I just want to say,
notes, guys, are you going to go get your mission statement? And guess what? It doesn't even matter how messy it is. No. You can make a pretty one for your bathroom, but when you're journaling, just write it. Scratchy, big, and a felt pen and a crayon and whatever. Just write it. Don't worry about the spelling. Don't second guess it. Just let it flow.
Exactly. And I'll close with this. If you have an objective in life, get clear on what you don't want in your life. People say, I don't know what I want, but we do know what we don't want in life. So we get clear what you don't want to have in your life, get clear on that. And it's called a burning bowl ceremony. Take those things you don't want, put them in a bowl and burn them and release them. Once we get cleared what we don't want in our life, we never think about them again. We just focus. Then it allows us to focus on those things that we want. So I can't wait to get your book, The Black Pearl. And how can people get your book? I'm going to put this up again here.
Oh, you can get it online right now on Amazon. You can get it in hardback, softback, Kindle. And currently, all the Kindle all the Kindle money that we get is being donated to a literacy fund. I did my launch on March 25th, and we set up a 30-day challenge. We meet once a month. You can join my Facebook group. I love to have you. Send me a note in Facebook, Cynthia Manion. So we have a literacy challenge, and I have the most amazing winner from this literacy challenge, because we were going out reading to children, going to senior citizen homes, talking to someone, trying to teach one person if you can help them. And she is so amazing, and I'm so excited. She deserves it beyond. So she's coming on tomorrow. I think she's on for 15, 20 minutes, and that's at 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And I'm doing more research so that in one of my future meetings, do you know that you can join a literacy group and help in your community, in your school, in your county, in your state? I just Googled it, and there was so much information. I want to go and check them out and see like which ones work and find out more about it before I, put my seal behind it. But it's out there. It is so easy. If you have a half an hour a day, once a month, it would help. Just think about it. It's, a drop into the ocean, a drop, a drop, a drop, a drop, and suddenly you have an ocean.
Yeah.
A drop of helping somebody, a drop of the smile, a drop of compassion, a drop of feeling, taking a moment. You're mad. The person in front of you has 18 things in the 10 line. Well, what is she going through? She only had 15 minutes on her lunchtime, and she was one of those bosses who will, take money away if she's not back on time. Take a moment and think possibly what's happening with them. And then you can go and give them a little more space and give yourself a little more space and only think of good, positive things, because what you think of, you manifest. And the universe hears it all. There's no hiding, no hiding. Like the ocean, it just keeps flowing. Sometimes it flows in rough because you need a lesson, and sometimes it's beautiful and tranquil, and you can open your eyes and see the beauty beneath it. Look at the beauty beneath you in your own ocean.
Well, thank you for sharing. Thank you for being here today. I tell you what, an hour does go by in a hurry, doesn't it?
Yes. Wait a minute. You just got us all on the tip of the iceberg. We all want to go write our I am statements, right?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Because you are amazing. I am amazing.
We are amazing.
We are amazing. Thank you so much, Tom.
God bless you. So I'm going to put you in the green room and enjoy the M&Ms that you asked for, the blue ones specifically. So
how did you know? You're so good.
M&Ms didn't make any black ones. Otherwise, they'd give you some black M&Ms. Blue is the closest I can get. So enjoy.
You. Thank you. And in New York, you can order them. You can have your logo put on them. Do a mermaid and your name or something to give them as a gift. It's kind of fun.
Cool. There we are. Cynthia Manion. Awesome lady. I've had the privilege to meet her briefly last summer at an event down in Los Angeles. Love her spirit. She's part of the Grow Live Academy. So it's the blessings of being part of like-minded people who will grow and expand is so important. I encourage you to get her book. I look forward to getting it myself. We all have that black pearl with it. We got to get out of our thinking and our hearts that we don't have value. We all have value. And I believe her book will accentuate that just based on what I'm hearing from her. So I encourage you to get her book. So without any further ado, take this day, ask yourself, what am I grateful for today? And write it down. And then answer, not just the statement, I'm grateful for the cup of coffee, but why are you grateful for whatever you're grateful for? It could be the flowers in your yard, the weather that's outside, whatever it is. Why are you grateful? Take it to another level and see what happens. It changes everything. It goes back to what we were doing here. Say it out loud, write it, and you start believing it. The world will change around you. So with that all said, we thank you for being here on G-Force. What are you grateful for today? We'll close with my corporate sponsor, ASEA.